Ready, go. Excellent. Drive up high. Good. Drive those hips. Excellent. Excellent. A few more seconds. You guys are doing a terrific job. All right, and relax. Really hop up. Now we're going to do a couple more. We'll just call them quote-unquote stretches. What we're trying to do is improve mobility, which is the range of motion in joints. And for the most part, we're looking at improving mobility in the ankles and the hips. The ankles and hips, by design, are to be mobile. The knee is designed to be stable. So in order to help stabilize the knee, we want to improve mobility in the ankles and hips. That takes pressure off of the knee. So we don't want mobile knees. Derrick Rose has mobile knees. You don't want mobile knees. Now, when a player runs and jumps, they do what's called triple extension. They extend from their ankles, they extend from their knees, and they extend from their hips. If a player, if one of those joints is not working as well as it can, it's limiting a player's ability to run and jump. So first and foremost, improving ankle and hip mobility will help your players run faster and jump higher by default. Conversely, when I go up and grab a rebound, or I jump and I land, I want the impact to go through my ankles, my knees, and my hips. I want it to dissipate and be spread out over 3 joints. I don't want it focused in one. I want that impact to spread out. If my ankles or my hips cannot go through a full range of motion for whatever reason, all of that impact goes to the next closest joint, which is my knee. So if I do not have mobile ankles, either because they're not mobile from lack of work, or they're locked into a brace or tape, which I'm 100% against using, when a player lands, all of that impact goes to their knees. So if you have players with knee problems, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physical therapist, I'm not an athletic trainer. I'm willing to bet if they have knee problems, they have something wrong with their ankles or their hips. Something in that kinetic chain is not working the right way, which is putting extra pressure on their knees. So in order to keep our players healthy, we need to have mobile ankles, we need to have mobile hips. Right now, we're just going to go through a couple of stationary mobility exercises just to loosen up the hips and the ankles, and then we'll move on and jump in everything else we got. I'll move it rapid fire. Okay, guys, so the first thing we're going to do, I just want you to get down this time in a push-up position. Bring your right foot so it's in front of your right hand. Palms are flat on the ground. Straighten your back leg as much as you can. Arms are inside of your knee. Your right foot's forward. Take your right hand and look up and reach up. Let's just get 5 good reps. 5 good reps. And then very similar to what we did yesterday, for those of you who are here, you can put your right hand on your thigh or your knee, and you're just going to push down and drive your toes to your nose so we get that hamstring stretch. That little hip rocker we did yesterday, Till. So we're just going to get 5 here. And this again, you want to talk about having empathy. My 40-year-old hamstrings are humming right now. Nice job. And then last one, we're going to pivot and rotate that back foot so that it's at a 90-degree angle. So it's at a 90-degree angle from here, and we're simply going to drive our hips forward. So now we're getting a really, really good groin stretch. So this is kind of like a 3-way multi-hip. Now I know that it's a little bit warm in here, but you realize, I mean, we're just doing a basic warm-up. I am absolutely drenched in sweat, and I haven't even done everything that they've done. I've only demonstrated a couple things, and I'm soaked in sweat. High degree of muscular effort with everything we're doing. All right, let's get the other side, guys. So we want toes in front of hands, arms inside a leg, back leg as straight as you can get it. Look up and reach up. And I will say this, and I'll just talk while I'm doing it. I'm a big believer that in order for you guys to be the best coaches that you're capable of, you have to be the best version of yourself in every area of your life. You can't pick and choose what areas you want to be excellent and what areas you don't. You can't compartmentalize. Now, can you be a good coach, a great coach, without working on the other areas of your life? Absolutely. Can you be the best coach that you're capable of? I don't believe so. And I think there's 4 pillars to human development. Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. I'm not going to touch the other 3, but I will touch physical for you guys. In order for you to be the best coach you can be, you need to take care of yourself. Doesn't mean you need to go through, CrossFit workouts 5 times a week. You need to be conscious of what you eat, because that's the fuel for your performance. You need to be conscious of how much you sleep, because that's how you reprogram your body. That's like plugging in your iPhone to get more juice. And you do need to do something physically active other than screaming at your players. Like, you need to do something to take care of your body. If you do those 3 things, it will give you more energy, you'll feel better, you'll sleep better, and when you do those things, your brain works a lot better. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself in order to take care of your players. Also remember that as adults, and for those of you that have small children, you can appreciate, with my kids, they're 6 and 4 as I told you, the behavior that I model is 1,000 times more powerful than anything I say to them. You realize that if you tell somebody to do one thing and you do another, everything you just told them means absolutely nothing to them. Absolutely nothing. And again, I'm not saying this to sound condescending, I'm just trying to help and share. You realize if you walk into practice with a Mountain Dew and a Snickers bar and you tell your players, make sure you guys are eating well for tomorrow's game, you realize they're not going to listen to a thing that you say, right? Because your actions speak a lot louder than your words. And I'm certainly not here to tell anyone they can't have a Snickers bar and a Mountain Dew. I'm just here to tell you that you need to try to model the behavior that you want your players to follow. I also believe you can hold them to a much higher standard if you're willing to do that. We tell our players to prepare. Obviously, as coaches, you prepare. I'm hopefully assuming correctly that when you come to practice, you don't just walk in and go, what am I going to do today? I hope that you've prepared a practice plan and you know exactly what you're going to do today, just as we want our players to prepare their minds and body to compete. So we just want to keep all of these things in mind. All right, guys, this time, let's get in our athletic stance. Similar to the one we did yesterday, you're going to laterally lunge, so we're going to get a good groin stretch, and then I want you to step left over right, and we'll get a good IT band and hamstring stretch. So I'm going to go lunge, and then step over. Lunge, and step over. Let's just get a couple each side. You guys do a terrific job, by the way. And then we'll jump into the medium over here. You guys all doing okay? You're a pretty quiet crowd.
You want to take a break at some point, and you decide.
Yeah, let's actually do this. Let's take a break to 10:05, so that's 7 minutes. I know that's not much. If you guys want to grab water, first, can you give these guys a hand? They've been